One chance is everything we've waited for. It's our time, so let me take it home and knock it out of this world. Out of this world where we going. Out of this world, yeah. Out of this world where we going. So come on, let me take it.
Waiting and anticipating just to get a chance so we can be great kings. That time now wasting, no more debating. Today, our future creating. Here I'm stating, we want the rating. Open a pray.
Yeah, so it's time to talk some cricket now on the SportsMax zone. Pakistan kept their hopes alive in the Super 8 bid. They had a win against Canada earlier on Tuesday in New York. The Pakistanis chasing down 107 with Mohammad Rizwan leading the way with 53 and captain Babar Azam contributing 33 for the 7-wicket win against the Guyana-born Dylan Haligers, 2 for 18. Earlier in the match, Mohammad Amir and Haris Rauf with 2 wickets each helped restrict Canada to 106 for 7 in their 20 overs, with Aaron Johnson scoring 52 and Kaleem Sana 13. So we've seen Mariah, the Pakistanis struggle so far in the tournament, all not lost for them because these mercurial Pakistanis have come up with a win, albeit not that surprising because they were up against a Canadian team that they should beat, and they kept their hopes alive, but they only have 2 points still.
Yeah, and they now insert themselves in third position, just behind India and, of course, the USA. So, Lance, you know, they will be hoping, based on the points table, that, you know, the next match will be India up against USA. That will be a mouth-watering fixture. And the Pakistanis will be hoping that, of course, India could dominate against the USA. I don't think that will be too much to ask for because we know how the Indians go about their cricket. But the USA has been brilliant in their first 2 matches so far. They've walked away with wins. So, you know, it's anybody's game for the taking, but a lot of people are very confident that India can get that done against the USA. I believe Pakistan, they play Ireland next, Lance. So Pakistan will be hoping that they can continue on this winning streak, winning game that they had today, and do the same against Ireland. But that will not be a very easy task. So right now, Pakistan, I think they don't have their nothing is in their control right now. All they can do is win against Ireland and just hope that India beat USA and then see how they go about their business. But I think they would have left it too late. The way that they lost the match before.
To the Indians, yeah.
Yeah,
because
so
they were in a position to win that game against India, but, you know, they just weren't, they didn't apply themselves well enough and missed an opportunity to beat an Indian team that, we must say, though, still stuck to the task and defended a small total well. And following the weekend's matches, there was a real feeling that the possibility of the finalists for the last T20 World Cup, England and Pakistan, may not make the Super 8s because England are struggling in their group as well. And the Pakistanis, although they had a victory today, are just, you know, sort of realigning themselves to the possibility of getting into the Super 8s. But as you mentioned, not all in their grasp because they've already lost a lot of ground. They could still make it, though, because, you know, I think they're a good enough team to make the Super 8s, but their results so far prior to today left them in a bit of a lurch.
Yeah, another thing that, you know, really stood out for me, Lance. Oh, we have to also mention, as the producers reminded me, that loss against the USA when it went to the Super Over and Mohammad Amir bowled that Super Over, and I felt like, you know, Pakistan was really awful when it came to that Super Over. And the fact that they even let that match go into a Super Over, just to remind you viewers, because they had it in their control, they let their control go, and of course went to Super Over and lost that match. So for me, disappointing. I'm, however, happy to see Mohammad Amir, you know, bounce back from that, because it's sometimes very difficult to bounce back when you have something so devastating, because that over for him could have broken him. It did not. He was one of the pick of the bowlers today. I also felt today that they could have done better when net run rate is concerned. We had a long discussion yesterday, you, Ricardo, and myself. I felt like today they had the opportunity to improve their net run rate, because it can come down to that. We have to remember, it can come down. All of these things are mathematics, and I felt like today they had the opportunity to do that. They didn't capitalize on that as well, Lance. So just looking at how things pan out, but as I said, not everything is in their control. They're going to have to hope for the best.
Yeah, and they have been champions before, the Pakistanis, of T20 World Cup cricket, but we've always known that Pakistan is one of the more mercurial teams in international cricket. You just don't know what you're going to expect from them. And a lot of cricket fans in the West Indies align Pakistan's track record to the West Indies. It's a similar kind of thing. When on their best day they can beat the best teams, and then on an off day, you know, they have a surprisingly bad result against a team that you would expect them to defeat. So problems for Babar Azam and his boys. But another aspect that people worry about with Pakistan is the internal issues surrounding the team. And there is the general feeling that a lot of times when Pakistan doesn't perform to the level that you expect, it is a general feeling that there are internal issues that affect Pakistan performing to an optimum. And a lot of times it's there are captaincy issues, and we see how often the captaincy is replaced, the coach is replaced, the Pakistan cricket governing body also finds itself in strife from time to time. So things generally are not straightforward with Pakistan's cricket, and their players are reasonably talented, as we have seen, but they seem to have some issues sometimes that affect the quality of their performance.
Yeah, and a perfect example of that, before we move along to the West Indies discussion, is that, you know, I can think of two players already off the top of my head that would have gone into retirement and come out of retirement for this World Cup, talking Imad Wasim and then Mohamed Amir.
Yeah.
So for me, you know, even all these different things, I wonder to myself, why did these players go into retirement? Was it, as you just mentioned, you know, issues behind the scenes that sometimes never come to the forefront, but then you come out of retirement for a World Cup? Of course, you have to think about the chemistry of the team, what would have happened before, just so many different issues. But for a talented bunch like Pakistan, I wish that, you know, we'd just get to see the best of the players and there would be harmony, all for the greater good of the cricket. Now, a team that we've been seeing a lot of harmony within, the West Indies. It's so good, Lance, that, you know, I can sit here and talk about the West Indies, 2 out of 2 wins, no selection issues whatsoever. Everybody seems to be working together for the greater good of the game. A lot of calls still to see Shimron Hetmyer. Many people want to see him.
And Shea Hope.
And Shea Hope, of course. Some even want to see Shamar Joseph. I mean, we haven't seen him feature yet for the World Cup. But what I will say is that match will be at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Tarouba, Trinidad and Tobago. We have received reports that it will be a sold-out crowd. We know how the Trinis love a good party, love a good time, and T20 cricket. And I mean, it's the World Cup, for God's sake. So looking forward to see how that unfolds, because right now the West Indies, although they're doing so well, it wouldn't hurt to have the entire of the country and, of course, whoever is visiting and supporting the West Indies turn out to rally behind the team.
Yeah, and the other factor that we've got to look at is the change of the pitch conditions for them, because their opening games had been played in Guyana, and now they're going to the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Tarouba, and the pitch conditions are likely to be pretty different from what the players experienced at Providence in Guyana. I'm not sure if they would consider a change in the 11 that they would use, but, you know, there's a general, you know, saying that you don't change a winning unit, and the team that has played in the first match was kept for the second match, and there is a feeling that there is no harm in keeping the same team for this third match. The opposition would be tough. New Zealand are always a strong tournament team, and this is going to be a tough assignment for the West Indies. Having said that, I believe the Afghanistan game will probably be their toughest group game. But all fingers crossed that the West Indies will cross this bridge and keep their winning form going. But it's going to be a tough game. But as you correctly pointed out, a sold-out crowd expected at Brian Lara Academy. And if it is that the West Indies need support to win this game tomorrow, then I think they'll get that.
Can I borrow your jet so I can go and come back quickly?
I don't have a jet yet.
Well, everybody on the show always talks about you being super wealthy. I'm the only one who doesn't know, so maybe if you lend me a jet.
I don't have a jet, though, so...
All right. Well, of course, if you are in Trinidad and Tobago and you can go out to rally behind the West Indies, that'd be perfect. You can represent me and, of course, the entire team here at SportsMax. We're looking forward to see how that match unfolds. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have interactive.
no more debating. Today, our future creating. Here when me stating, we want the rating. Open a pray, enough deliberating. No plating, it been frustrating. So we see the better in our life we making. Because life is giving and taking. Unity, enough collaborating. You see the boundaries that we breaking. When we should have been celebrating.
This moment is all that I've been dreaming of.
This world,
somewhere I feel it in my soul.
champion thing.
One chance